What does it look like practically to do that? Is this, because clearly you've got an incredible amount of online training content that I'm assuming some of the team will go through. But is this sit down, as you alluded to there, is it sit down meetings once a month, once a quarter with yourself and the leadership team? How practically do you keep everyone on board and build that culture?
Yeah, monthly one-on-ones and, lots of communication, lots of training. No matter how long you've been here, we require everybody to train the same way. It's probably about 45 minutes a day of training in the office, plus probably 20 that they're required to do on their own at some point.
Sure.
With our online program. So we want them to be masters of the product, and that requires that they use it. And then, we train people really aggressively, and that's how we get people to perform. That's how you get the athletes at the highest levels of their sport. You get them to perform the way that they do because they train more. They don't train less. They're not too good to train. They train more. They understand the value of refining their craft and repeating what seemingly mundane exercises. Michael Jordan used to say that he would spend an hour warming up his ankles and his wrists before a game. Ankles and wrists, like these are small little connect. He wasn't shooting. He ankles and wrists every game. He did the same thing. So it's like people, I think, ultimately lack the discipline to continue to do things that seem redundant to them, and they take them for granted. And, I think that's why people end up, in this deal, they're making $150,000 a year, $200,000 a year. And they're like, they get on Easy Street and they're just like stopping by, collecting a check, doing their deal. There's not a lot of compression on them. They don't compress themselves. They don't put compression on themselves. That could be the outcome that you're looking for. But I guarantee you the people that are knocking down 7 figures a year in a sales role are not of that mindset. They are grinding. They're trying to find the next deal. They're trying to find a bigger deal. They're constantly leaning in. They're interested in new things. The people that perform at the top of their games, that is a trait that they all have in common. They're constantly looking how they can be better. They have this competitive nature about how they perform. And then they look at their peers and they look at people around them, and that drives them, and it pushes them to do more, to where they, you get guys on Wall Street that are working, 18-hour days. I was reading about Mohamed El-Arian, who runs, he's the CEO of Allianz, before that PIMCO, 2.2 trillion assets under management. Like, this guy's schedule was insane. I'm like, dude, how does this guy even live? Like, he was sleeping like 4 hours a day. Like, it's insane. But they become obsessed with this pursuit of what they're capable of, what their potential is. And again, that's not a road for everybody to follow. I can tell you this: I'm never going to be in a situation where I'm only sleeping 4 hours, because I got to get like at least 7 hours of sleep. Otherwise, it's just no good for me. And so, that doesn't mean you have to have $1 million goal, but you have to figure out what's important to you, and you have to figure out a way to drive towards that every day. Otherwise, you will end up lacking purpose and lacking drive and lacking motivation, and then you're just going to be unhappy.
Are you directly involved with hiring at the kind of SDR salesperson level, or you got kind of management below you? Cool.
Yeah.
So in that case, then, with yourself and the team, you mentioned you're looking for salespeople. Competitive, I guess. None of it is uncommon, right? Competitive, discipline. People are interested in improving themselves and learning. Is there anything else that would be uncommon that you do look for, that you see, I guess, other people aren't looking for in the market?
It sounds silly, but we want people that want to make money. And you say, well, everybody wants to make money. Yeah, not everybody wants to make money. I want to know how much money somebody wants to make, and and not like, oh, I want to make $1 billion. Like, not some half-cocked bullshit number that they're just throwing out because it's big. But like, we want people who understand what they really want and how much that actually costs. so few people take the time to figure out what their ideal scene, their ideal life would look like, and really get specific about what that looks like. Like spend time in it, marinate in it, connect with it, and then figure out how much it's going to cost to live that life. And then back into production that needs to happen in order for you to hit those targets. For me, I know I can be successful showing up and winging it. I've done really well for myself because I have the ability to think on my feet. But I know that I do better when I know exactly what I need to get done, exactly what the outcome needs to be, and how that plays into the thing that I ultimately want to get in my ideal life, which is passive income targets, travel targets, family targets, community targets, health targets. Like I want to know how all of those things work together so that I don't live my life winging it. Because I don't know what the outcome of that is going to be. I don't know what the destination is going to be. And, maybe you like the unpredictability of that. I don't. I want to know where I'm going, and I want to be sure that I'm sold and I'm bought into that. And before you even really start talking about the next sales call, like, I think that people just need to spend some time figuring out what they want. It changes as you grow. It changes. I've got 2 kids now. I've got a 3-year-old and a 5-month-old. It's different now than it was 3 years ago when it was just my wife and I. It was different then than it was 3 years before that when I was a single guy, working 12 hours a day, slamming phones, traveling, going out to see clients, doing, it's just different. Like, your things, the things that you want change, the things that you value change, and you need to spend time working through on a regular basis the thing that will make you happy. When you say 10 years from now, what does my ideal life look like? How much money is it going to take to live that life? Like, I picked out cars, houses, travel. How much is I going to? I want to go to Marbella for a month. How much do I want to spend? I want to go to Mykonos for a month. How much is that going to cost? Like, where am I going to stay? Am I going to rent a house? Like, when I'm here, I want to be able to go to California, or I want to, like, how much does all that stuff cost? I want to be able to, send $1 million a year to charities that help kids in underserved areas. I know that those are all things that I want to do. And I know that I have the ability to go out and do the thing that I need to do to get me the money that will be required to do that. But if I don't know how many times I got to pick up this phone and make a call, how many calls to get an appointment, how many appointments to get a demo, how many demos to get a deal, and then what do I make per deal, and I can't back all those numbers out and do that math out, then you're kind of running at your target with a blindfold on, hoping, with your fingers crossed, that you end up with a life that you look back and you go, oh, well, I lived a good life. I want to live a great life.